What's popping, y'all? I was thinking about this all morning. I haven't had a religious debate. My throat was messed up, man. Damn. I haven't had a religious debate in a while, but this is something I've known since I started studying religion like 20-something years ago. Hell does not exist. Not in a literal sense. Y'all Christians, well, it's mainly Christians, but Muslims believe in it. I think Jews believe in it. I think it's all kinds of people that believe in it, but if you believe that your God is a loving God, there's no way you can believe that your God is a God of love. And he created a frivolous place of eternal torture for people that didn't believe in him. Or for people that had a hard time believing in him. If you really look at it like what religion is, it's just a matter of opinion, because you can't really 100% prove any religion. You can kind of like make some type of analogies with nature and things that are happening like historically and things of that nature, but even in those instances, it's a matter of interpretation. So what it comes down to is you have to, like, any religion that you really get involved with, they can show you some things, but ultimately it's a matter of faith, and faith is a matter of opinion. You literally have to like have an opinion about it. It's not 100% fact. Like if I put my hand over fire, the shit will burn. It's been proven. It's been tested. I burned myself. But like things that, as far as religion, as far as text, as far as historical situations, as far as prophecy, those things can't be proven. So ultimately, 99.9% of the people, I believe that whichever religion they follow, they're following it because they choose to follow it, you know? And that's scary territory, because a lot of it is bullshit. There's a lot of practicality with religion, don't get me wrong. Like, you shouldn't kill, don't covet your neighbor's wife or husband, whatever. Don't fucking sleep with your relatives. Like, there's a lot of good practicality in not just the Bible and just religion in general. But that's the best way to pass off a lie. You have to include truth within it in order to pass it off. If all of it was bullshit, nobody would follow it. But they'll say, oh yeah, you know what? It probably is a good idea if I shouldn't kill my neighbor over some dumb shit. You know what? It's probably a good idea I shouldn't steal. You know what? It's probably a good idea I shouldn't do this. Oh, by the way, there's this place called hell where you burn eternally, and if you don't think the way I think, you're going to be thrown in that shit. They slip bullshit in the midst of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, historically, religion has been used as a means to justify a lot of heinous shit. The Crusades were justified through religion. Slavery, the transatlantic slave trade was justified through religion. But let me stay on topic, though. I don't want to... as far as there's so many subtopics that you can have with in regards to religion. I just want to stick to hell. Hell does not fucking exist, man. Not in the way that you think it. And yes, I grew up studying Jehovah's Witnesses, but they weren't the only ones that came to this conclusion. A lot of different sects, SECTS, adopted this. Now this is what happened, right? I don't know the exact year of when this became popular, but there was a literary, damn, it might be accident, like, yo, this shit's crazy. There was a literary piece called Dante's Inferno, and what was going on, I think with the Catholic Church, if I'm not mistaken, attendance was starting to go down. People just didn't give a fuck. You know, people was just doing the hell what they wanted to do. I think before the message was heaven. You're gonna go to heaven if you follow God, blah, blah. It was like a real peaceful, happy thing. It's a fucking accident on the entrance of this highway, and like everybody's fucking driving like fucking assholes. Jesus Christ. But anyway, what was I saying? So in order to get attendance up, the happy message wasn't working anymore. So they adopted the story of Dante's Inferno, like the devil with the horn and the pitchfork and the demons stabbing people. None of that shit exists in the Bible. You can search the Bible front and back. It don't say nothing about the devil being red. Doesn't even describe how he looks. It says it describes some type of dragon, but it doesn't describe the color of the dragon. Actually, it does. The scarlet colored beast, but that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, in different chambers of hell and all this bullshit. None of that exists in the Bible. Maybe it's in the Apocrypha. I didn't read that. The Apocrypha I think it's like the 5 or 6 books that weren't canonized with the Bible. Like they literally, the Bible, like I think the Bible has 66 books, but I think the original Bible had like over 70. And the Catholic Church, they decided that these 5 books, it was like the Book of Enoch, the Epic of Gilgamesh, no, not the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Book of Enoch. There's like another Corinthians. It's like 5 other different books, but they decided that I think the Book of Ruth, they decided that wasn't God's inspired word. Now these are Catholics, by the way. I read some of it, but not too much. At any rate, they were trying to get church attendance up back at that time. They were trying to scare people into religion because the bliss and happiness of heaven, that wasn't enough. So they wanted to fear people in it. Now, when somebody got to fear you into doing something, you got to question that. But that's still another topic. I'm not talking about the validity of religion. We're just talking about the validity of hell. First of all, the whole concept came from Dante's Inferno. Look that shit up. That's where the fuck it came from, right? Now, in the Bible, it talks about Gehenna. Gehenna was a garbage dump outside of the city of Jerusalem. And what they would do is, whenever they would, you know, like it was a garbage dump. You know, whenever like criminals would die, they would throw their bodies into Gehenna when they were dead, not while they were alive. And just garbage in general, just garbage and refuse from the city. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, I don't know where it is, but you can look this up. God, like they would throw the dead carcasses of criminals into the flames or whatever. And God said, something like that never came into my heart. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a key from your Bible. I don't believe in the Bible, period, but I'm just saying, if you read in your Bible, there's a scripture of God saying, yo, this never came into my heart to throw, like, you know what I'm saying, dead, let alone like dead carcasses into this flame, into these flames or whatever. So if it never came into his heart, but then he created hell, then either God is contradicting himself in that book, or the word hell doesn't mean what you think it means, or you're taking it too literally. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what Gehenna, another word for Gehenna is lake of fire. In Revelations, it says that death and Hades will be swallowed up by the lake of fire. Death is just being dead. Hades and Sheol. Sheol is Hebrew, and Hades is Greek, if I have it correctly. And they both just mean grave, common grave of inactivity. Now the thing is, what the translators did when they translated to the New World's to the King James Version, any word that was Gehenna, which is the garbage dump, Sheol, or Hades, it all was translated into hell. It all was translated into hell, right? And it says death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. Now, I think the lake of fire only appears in the Bible one time, and people take that as being hell or whatever. But it's like, hold up. But Sheol was translated to hell, Hades was translated to hell, Gehenna was translated to hell, and I just proved to you that these are all 3 different things. So hell's being thrown into hell. So obviously, you have to look behind the deeper meaning of what these things mean. I think Gehenna and the lake of fire, they're pretty much the same thing. Now, when you throw something into a burning garbage dump, man, right? Yeah, all I say, Jesus Christ. You know, hey Frank, you know where I get that from? I get that from Tommy Sotomayor. Yeah. No, hell and Hades, it literally means grave. It's just another word for a grave. But anyway, what was I gonna say? So it's like hell's being cast into the lake of fire. Hell, Sheol, and Hades, they're all the same thing. It just means in death. It just means death and inactivity. Gehenna / the lake of fire, Gehenna was a place where Once they, like, if you threw your couch or your table or your house into this thing, there's no way you could bring it back. There's no way you could rebuild it. So the lake of fire was metaphorical. The way I see it, I mean, just from a logical standpoint, if you look at what each word means. Excuse me. The lake of fire just means a place where once you're destroyed, you can't be brought back. That's what that means. Because back then, in biblical times, they had no way of really describing spiritual shit that you can't see. So they would relate it to things they saw in real life. There's a lot of metaphor, there's a lot of allegory, there's a lot of similes in the Bible, right? The only problem with that is a lot of people are stupid and they take that shit literal. Now, all this information I just put out, obviously I'm not giving you no scriptures or nothing like that. You can look it up. You can look up the definition of the 80s. You can look up the definition of hell. You can look up the definition of Gehenna, the lake of fire. And then there's another place called the abyss, where apparently the angels were thrown. Like the abyss, like some people say it's like Jehovah's Witnesses, they theorize it's or their interpretation, it's a place of spiritual inactivity where the angels, I mean, they're still powerful or whatever, but they aren't connected to heaven anymore. So they don't know what heaven is doing. Like they're pretty much cut off. It's just like if you got a walkie-talkie, it got like 6 channels on a walkie-talkie, and like let's say heaven is channel 5, they're cut off from channel 5, so they can't hear. They have no idea what's going on. They have radio silence when it comes to that. So that's the theory of what that is, and I think it even says that I think Jesus went down there to witness to them, to like preach to them or whatever. I don't know if he's trying to convert them or what. Whatever, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I'm explaining what these words mean. But now I'm explaining, now I'm going to ask, how could you logically believe in this shit, right? We live on this planet maybe 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years if you're lucky. Nobody's committing sins their entire life. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe from a baby to when you're like 6 or 7 years old, 8 years old, you know, you still look like a little ass kid. After a while, you become like, I think 10 years old and after, you know right from wrong, you're accountable. That's why some 10, 11-year-olds get tried as adults. All right? Regardless of how evil or sadistic you think anybody is on this planet in the history of humanity, I don't think anything deserves being tortured forever. I don't give a fuck if you're Adolf Hitler. I don't give a fuck if you're Jeffrey Dahmer. I think that an equal punishment, like when you die, is for you to experience the pain that you put others through for the amount of time that they went through it. I think that's because it says God is fair and just, right? So let's use Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, motherfucking 15, 17 boys, black men or whatever, for over how many years he caused this pain. So I feel like his right balanced punishment, when he dies, 17 years, he feels the pain of getting consumed. I think that's fair, or however long the pain went through. But to go beyond that, like, damn, this motherfucker got to suffer eternally, like in excruciating pain, something that's probably like 1,000,000 times worse than what he inflicted. It just doesn't match up with a fair and just God. That's why I don't see how people can believe in that. And the thing is, we don't even have to take it to the Jeffrey Dahmer extreme. The Bible says that all unrepentant sinners, some Christians believe that all unrepentant sinners are going to burn forever in hell, in this fiery place. So whether you just an atheist, you could be a model citizen, a philanthropist, a volunteer, you help out, you do all these good positive things in life, but because you didn't believe in Christianity and accept Christ as your Savior, that means you gotta burn forever? That's not even if this God existed, I wouldn't even want to be a part of any God like that. Like, yo, fucking destroy me. It is what it is. Like, man, hey, don't continue to use your eternal energy to make me be alive. Because the thing is, in order to feel pain, you have to be conscious. Consciousness comes from God. Consciousness is energy. So you mean to tell me that God is going to have all billions of people plugged into him? Because in order to be alive, we got to be plugged into God. I don't believe in God in traditional sense, but God is the source of life. So in order to be alive, to be conscious is to be alive. So if you're feeling pain, you're conscious, you're still alive. You're alive in a different realm, but you're still fucking alive. So you mean to tell me God is this petty and this frivolous because the people that he put out to like express who he is, because God is so powerful, he can't talk he can't talk to us directly, our heads will explode, or we can't look at him. Like we can't even look at the sun. We'll go blind if we look at the sun for a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? We'll go blind if we look into the sun for a couple minutes. And it's just an inkling of the energy of what God is. So I kind of understand. I get that. I totally get that. But you mean to tell me like he's gonna like frivolously use energy, even though energy can't be created or destroyed, it just keeps on going. But he's gonna frivolously have energy plugged in just for the sake of people suffering forever, just because they didn't believe in him. I say like Jeffrey Dahmer's extreme because you can make a case for Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy and Adolf Hitler. You can make a case for the motherfuckers being burned up forever and ever. I still think it's frivolous. I think the punishment you get should match what you do. It should not be fucking forever, because we don't live forever. So why the fuck should we fucking be tortured forever for some shit? You do. I could do a crime for 30 years. That still does not compare to being burned for billions and 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 billions. Never stop. Just burn for billions and billions and ever and ever and ever and ever. It never stops. Now, here's the other bullshit part about it that Christians don't really take into account. God created us with the ability to adapt. Regardless of what type of pain you are going through eventually, or some type of negativity that you go through in life, eventually you get used to it. You get accustomed to it. You become institutionalized, right? That's an instinct. That's a coping mechanism he put inside of us to be able to deal with different conditions. So in order for us to continually to feel that pain, God got to be 2-level petty, because not only is he keeping us alive consciously to feel the fucking pain, right? But he's taking away our ability to adapt to the pain, so we can't even get used to shit. That's a petty motherfucker. That's more petty, like, to me, that's more petty than anything I can think of in the history of humanity. And that's more evil than anything. To me, that's more evil than Jeffrey Dahmer. That's more evil than John Wayne Gacy. That's more evil than Adolf Hitler. That's more evil than Jerry Sandusky. Because he took away that ability so we could feel the pain forever. How could y'all motherfuckers believe in some bullshit like that? I don't believe I do not believe there's an entity that evil in the universe that would hold that type of grudge for that long. Why not just make the person not exist, or be whatever ailment or fault that they have inside of them, take it away so that they good. You know what I'm saying? We're human beings. We build things, right? If you build a car and it has a faulty mechanism, you don't destroy the entire car. You just remove the part that was fucked up and put the good part in there. You know what I mean? Or maybe create a situation or a world where it's just motherfuckers that's wilding out, and that's just what they do. You understand what I'm saying? Not just totally eradicate it, because you created it. You created it in a faulty way. It has a hard time believing what you created. Like, you're not giving like proper information or proper proof that you even fucking exist. You're not. You're fucking your prophets and your disciples, the people that are supposed to relay this message, these motherfuckers is dirty ass humans just like we are. So you sending in shitty ass representatives to pass off some bullshit ass watered down information that was translated 1,000 times over. Books was removed. You understand what I'm saying? There was different interpretations and interpolations, all different types of ways of seeing this shit. So I'm like, yo, this shit mad confusing. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not fucking with it. I'm just gonna try to be a good person. Whatever, y'all could do you. I'm gonna just do me and just ride this shit out until I'm on the other side. And let's just see what that is. Nah, fuck it. Because you didn't want to fucking try to listen to all this convoluted bullshit. you got to burn forever. You on the same level as John Wayne. Look, this is the ill thing about hell, the concept of hell. All sinners burning in it. This is worse than the judicial system. This is worse than the prison system, because it's literally putting every criminal on the same plane. Whether you stole a loaf of bread, whether you lied, whether you cheated on your wife, whether you raped somebody, whether you murdered somebody. Oh no, yeah, I'm gonna keep it up. Whether you murdered somebody, what else? Whether you killed somebody, whether you slept with your daughter, you old as fuck, whether you fucked a baby, doesn't matter. Y'all all get the same goddamn sentence. We're in the entire earth. I don't give a fuck if you in the worst prisons of Siberia, or you in motherfucking Guantanamo Bay, or you in like deep in the undergrounds of Mexico. Even though some prisons are more harsh than others, they still have different levels to as far as your punishment. They still have different levels. As far as the Bible goes, there's only one punishment. Doesn't matter what you did. How the fuck is that just? And how could you people believe in that shit, man? How could you call your God a just God and believe in just, he's fair and he's balanced, but he created something that put everybody on the same level if they don't, you know what I mean, for whatever reason. Whatever, doesn't matter. Unrepentant, well, mainly it's unrepentant. That's mainly what it is. I get it, but it's putting everybody, regardless of what they did, on the same fucking level. Well, at least why can't it be different levels of hell? Like, okay, if I was a thief, I'm gonna burn forever, or I'm gonna burn forever, but it's not as hot as Jeffrey Dahmer burning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting hit by a whole bunch of hot ass steam, but it's still forever. Still don't for your fate to be forever, and we don't even live forever. You get what I'm saying? For your fate to be forever. I think the people that created this concept, they got too greedy. They was too greedy and they was too thirsty to get religious converts. They could have said something like, you're gonna burn for 20 years, 10 years. Even that is cruel, but fuck it, burn every single day for 20 years. But after 20 years, it's over. Or it could be literally like a spiritual cell. You just seeing a whole bunch of scary shit, whatever. Forever just does not match up to like the temporary time that you did whatever wrongdoing you was doing on Earth. It just doesn't match up. Now I know on Earth, if I kill somebody right now, I could get 50 years. That's a lot of time compared to what I did. It could take you 1 minute to be in jail for the rest of your life. But even then, you still got a sentence. It's niggas that's, I think the biggest sentence I ever seen was somebody got like 999 years like 3 times. The nigga that got 999 years 3 times is still in a better position than the motherfucker that got to burn forever. And on top of this shit, right? How the fuck you do a crime on Earth or whatever, you get punished for Earth? You get punished on Earth, and then you got to get punished in death too? Like, damn, I already got punished. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. Your death pays the wage of your sin. It doesn't say that you're burning up forever. It says you die. You're dead. All the Gehenna and the fucking lake of fire, these were just metaphors, meaning that you're not coming back, or it could mean that person that you was is not coming back. Because energy can't be created nor destroyed. Matter can't be created or destroyed. When this physical shell dies, it's going to be converted into something else. It's just about the consciousness. And I think the consciousness is the energy. It's going to go in. It's going to go into something else. It didn't do good in this physical host, so now it has to go to somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. But but Christians, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Christians don't do no fucking research, and they're so emotionally connected to what their fucking grandmother and they mama taught them and shit. That how dare I go against what my grandmama taught? My grandmother died, and this is what she taught me all her life. Well, you know what? Your grandmother was from down south, and she was ignorant and illiterate, and she learned some fucking bullshit. And she didn't do no research beyond what the dusty ass books that these fucking preachers and shady ass pastors gave her. Because it's way too much information, and it's way too much. We're in the age of information and technology right now, and it's so easy to crush so much shit. The answers, or not even the answers, but like the doorways to the answers is right at your fingertips. You got a cell phone, you got Wi-Fi access, you got a fucking data plan. It's so easy to fucking just debunk this shit. But I was debunking this before, even before the internet and all that. Even before that. It's just like you can't believe in a fair and just God and believe in hell. You can't. It's either one or the other. You can't. If that place really exists, I don't think God exists. But it just doesn't. It doesn't. It was too lofty. It was too great of a punishment. You understand what I'm saying? It was too lofty. It's just like in the Bible. Satan thought that he could get every man to turn against God. But, you know, God got plenty of situations like Job didn't turn against him. I think Abel was faithful to him. Like, you know, it was a host of people. Jesus was faithful, et cetera, et cetera. But the problem with Satan is he said every man. If Satan would have just said some, Satan would have won the bet. But sometimes we get too greedy and we get too lofty with the challenges that we put out. You know, like I said this analogy before. That's like you playing an NBA team saying out, or you betting on the game. Like, I bet, yo, the Lakers ain't gonna score 0 points against Golden State the next game. That's a stupid ass fucking bet. But hell doesn't exist, man. The Bible is bullshit in general, and there's other things I can break down, but I like breaking down hell the most because it's one of the things that scare people into the religion. It's one of the things that keep people going. It's one of the things that like prevents people from like trying to get away from religion because they're so scared of it. But now this is the big reasons why hell doesn't exist. Because if something, I'll break it down to you like this. The reason why there's a lot of murder in the world, but the reason why there's not way more murder than what it actually is because if you murder somebody, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. So a lot of people check themselves. There's laws in place to make people check themselves, right? Boom. Hell is a billion times, the concept of hell, the way these dumbass Christians and people believe, is a billion times worse than any penal punishment that you can get on this planet. Yet, motherfuckers is fornicating left and right. Motherfuckers is murdering left and right. Motherfuckers is raping left and right. Motherfuckers is doing all this negative shit on a grand scale. Like I said, we got the internet now, so we see it. Pornography is the biggest seller on the fucking internet, period. If some place really, really existed like that, where somebody could report back and say how bad it was, the world would not be in the fucking condition that it is, because nobody would want to go there. Nobody would fucking want to go there. People don't, it just doesn't exist. Doesn't fucking exist, man. You can't scare, I mean, you can scare people into religion, but I think it's an ineffective tactic that doesn't last that long. Jehovah's Witnesses scare people into religion because they don't talk about going to hell and nothing like that, but they talk about Armageddon and all the persecution and all the torture and all the bullshit that's going to happen during like the Great Tribulation and all this bullshit. But when you try to fear people into the shit, after a while, people get tired of that shit. Yo, how come I look like Kratos right now? Kratos, the god of war. See my little, I got the Kratos shit. But and my chin hair is thin. Did you know T.C. Carlson plays Kratos from Living Single, the black dude with the dreads? But yeah, if you want to do something religious or whatever, don't do it because you're scared that something bad gonna happen to you. Do it because you feel good and this is what you feel is good. Don't preach this fire and brimstone shit. There's some destructive shit and it's not really effective. And people be fucking 40, 50, 60 years old believing in this bullshit. Hell does not exist. Look up Dante Inferno. Hades and Sheol mean common grave, and it means a place of inactivity. Death is the same thing, place of inactivity. Gehenna was a garbage dump that they used to destroy criminals, dead criminals, and their garbage. And Gehenna is also called the lake of fire. And the abyss, or Abaddon, is a place of spiritual inactivity for the fucking demons, angels and shit. Whatever. Don't take my word for it. Just look up the shit. I've been studying this type of stuff for like over 20 years, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not just pulling, and it's not just Jehovah's Witnesses information. Like, this is stuff that I've studied on my own. You know what I'm saying? Beyond them. All right? So stop being scared of hell. Stop preaching this hell bullshit. It's fucking garbage. It came from Dante's Inferno, and it was a means to scare people in religion. I'm out. Hashtag everybody need more green. Oh yeah, because I want to upload this to YouTube. So add, like, no, what else is like, subscribe, and share. There you go. Hashtag everybody need more green. Peace.